Welcome to Bridgeside Network. I'm Mr. Bridgeside. This is my 7 p.m. stream. On this channel, we're all about supporting creators, building community, and helping you with production so you could start rolling. And on this episode, we're going to show you how we started rolling here, how I turned my house into a production studio and just kind of changed my life and my way of living. Some say I'm crazy, and to that I'd say I am crazy. And I know a lot of you gearheads out there have a hard time stopping. And if anything on this tour, you're going to learn of the sicknesses of being a gearhead and just constantly needing to get stuff. So if you have any questions or you want to talk about your setup, and I just hope to bring value on this stream to help you with your setup if you could learn anything here. Now, you're probably not going to want to do it the way I did it. This is a culmination of my life through broadcast TV and music and just trying to be creative. So maybe you could take pieces of this, if not everything, if you have the space and the time and the wherewithal to do all this yourself. So I'm here in the back of my house. It's the control room. If you see here, you look outside and there's the garage. And we started in the garage there. It just used to be a crummy garage. Can't really see it. And then we eventually moved inside the house. Hold on, I gotta fix this. There we go. And this is the control room. I have a whole setup here. So it's like a traditional broadcast setup. So you get your broadcast switcher. You're seeing my nice phone here. Okay. And this may drop out when I go into the studio. I just wanted to show you. Of course, the PS4 controller. I'm gonna take this off. This is getting silly. All right, throw that crap out of here. All right, so this is what we use to switch. Obviously, a lot of Macs were Mac based. I actually probably need to get a PC. Yeah, we got soundboard over here. Dan Purdom, our sound engineer. Dan, I hope you're doing well, man. We miss you sitting in that chair. And I got the feed going here, and you can see that I'm displaying multiple cameras from different rooms. This is the control room. That camera for the control room is going onto this little lipstick guy. They're HD broadcast capable, but they're also just good security cameras. They run all the time if you want them. No recording on board though. And this is the baby. Big difference. You go from that to that. That's the baby right there. No, it's not a red camera. A lot of people ask me because I see red trim. That's a Panasonic HVX. Not an HVX. HVX is my first camera, an old one. This is the Panasonic EVA, the Eva, whatever you want to say, EVA1. And this is a Canon lens that has the zoom rocker, so you can zoom in and zoom out like a traditional broadcast rocker. And yeah, we're gonna go through a little tour here, guys. Send me questions if you have any. And so pretty much, there's cable going back here that's feeding. There's a hunk of cable down there that is feeding out the window, under the ground, feeding under the pavement there, all the way to the garage. So we dug up the pavers and fed the cable a year or two before we did it. We knew we wanted to do it, but we put the PVC pipe under those pavers after we put the pavers in and got ready to, in a couple of years, to actually extend the studio to the house. Now we walk into the green room here. There's the camera. Real quick, here's our little Bridgeside crew memorial wall. We'll hope to fill this up with a lot more stuff, but a lot of good stuff from the years. Kirby, if you're watching, one of our alumni sent us a very nice note thanking us, a thank you card. Thank you, Kirby. And this is all our team. A lot of good memories. And big Beatles fans in the house, but this is actually all classic rock. But there's Beatles. You know, a little Paul and Ringo. Look, there's our merch. So this is the wall of all walls. This is every artist that we've had here, which is going on, I don't know, like 170. They sign the wall when they come here. So we got a lot of different people. I'm sure you've seen that sticker. That's all over New York City and around the world. I've seen that sticker in other countries. But yeah, this is where the magic happens, where the green room where the artists come and hang out. Right now we're kind of in quarantine. The drums are in the green room right now. Normally they're in the studio, But right now, I haven't really been in the studio, and these have been here. And look, we turned this little closet. This used to be an office. We turned this little closet into a tiny makeup room. It's kind of packed right now with drums. But yeah, guys, let me know. I'm going to go back in here real quick. That's the bathroom. And click on this screen so I can see if anything's coming in. There we go. Oh, real quick, before we go outside, this is actually my house. This is when it enters my house and away from the production facility. But of course, we turn the kitchen into a production set too. This is where we cook and shoot cooking in Brooklyn. And I have some lights set up here. This is where Danny Milano, we do our cooking show. Got a couple lights preset, another one of those lipstick cameras for an overhead, but we bring in other cameras into here. I'm a big Zelda fan, so you'll definitely see some Zelda memorabilia flying around. Wind Waker. And this is where the cooking magic happens. All right, we're going outside now. Heading outside. This is in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, by the way. All you Brooklynites out here. We're getting this huge tree. This tree gives me nightmares of it coming down. It's put all this money and time into this garage, and then that tree is looming over it. It's like, this house is 100. This house is like 110 years old. That tree has been here since we've been here, which is like 40 years. So it's nerve-wracking. Oh, and over here. This is where every alumni that's ever played here, they know about this infamous tent. It's where our after parties have. We have a TV in there where we watch a show back directly after we film it. So yeah, shout out to all you alumni out there. And now we're going into the studio. And normally there's two doors here. You open this one, that door opens, and then you have the sliding door. Some people run into it because in daylight it's hard to see sometimes. Now we're set up with the blow-up couch in here for playing some gaming when quarantine started. As you see, there's a feed of the control room. So the reason I'm able to get all these feeds of all these cameras into different places is because I have a router, and a Blackmagic router. I'm going to show you it. It's this rack unit here. Hold on. Where is it? It's up here. This guy up here. It's called the Smart Video Hub. It's 20 ins and 20 outs, and I get to choose where I want something to go and what I want to send there. So I have all my cameras, PlayStation, Blu-ray players, anything that displays an image running into that router, and then I can route, and I ran the cable to every TV in the whole house. So if you wanted to kind of streamline your setup, you could get a router, plug all your video display items or things that display an image, your equipment, put into a router, and then set the output standing monitor screen. So I can put it onto projector right here because I have one of the router cables going into here, one of the outputs, or I can put it to that monitor. Or this is being routed right now. This is the feed of the stream, so I can see the stream right here. So you can route stuff anywhere, and it makes your life easier if you're doing... Now, if you're just in your own room having your own music set up, you might not need all this. But if you're trying to like shoot and like have a channel, YouTube channel, or just do productions from your home, and you want to be able to not have cable running all over the place and constantly plugging and unplugging, a router is a great way to just streamline it and click of a button, and you can route something from one place to the other. Let me show you the lighting board real quick. This is where the lighting magic happens. We actually just got this bestowed upon us. It was an awesome thing for us to get this board because now we have LED lights. These guys up here are LED studio / theater lights, and they're all controlled by this board and this touchscreen called the Ion 6000. Yeah, something like that. And I'm going to boost up the lights. I'm not going to go through a demo of this, but you can literally click on your light you want to take out or put it 100% and literally just dial it in. It's pretty awesome. What's up, Natalie? I don't know why we don't see your comment on the stream. There we go. ETC Ion board. There you go. It's a ETC Ion 6000, I think. We just got this. It was essentially given to us because people love us here because we support a lot of people, and some people support us. But we got this, and it's changed the game. We we only we only had one music show, and then quarantine started, so we haven't even gotten to like really use that thing. But it's really awesome. Maybe I will turn some stuff on real quick. So I'm gonna put all color. Boom, press all color. Full take, and boom, we got some colors going. Now everything colors. The lights color up themselves on there too to associate with the color that you're displaying. Look, we have a green screen curtain here, but we also have a green screen wall. So we have we have two different locations we can shoot, either this way or this way. So we didn't have this in the beginning. This is over time we learned how we can really optimize our setup and really make it easy to turn around sets because we do different shows here. We do a lot of different creative projects with different people. Yeah, that's DG Zim. Are you a lighting guy or gal? Let me know. I hope you're doing well, Natalie. Yeah, guys, this is showing you my stuff. Maybe there's some questions or things that can help you stir some things in your mind and see how you can kind of optimize your setup. I have expensive gear, and then I have not so expensive gear, and I've mixed it all together to see what works. And over time, you find out. When you do live, you find out what works when you need it to work. And HDMI is not good for live, guys. If you want a solid live stream, solid production, HDMI can screw you. HDMI can fall out. HDMI can break. You got to get SDI stuff if you want to go real professional, which is a twist lock BNC head. This guy. Out of the camera here. It's this connector here. This is a right angle version, but it's a twist lock. And it goes in. If you don't want dropouts, it's more expensive, but if you're trying to be professional, HDMI is fine if you're not, and if you go out, no clients are coming after you if you have a camera feed go out, but yeah, I'd get off the HDMI if you can. Thanks, Phil, man. Yeah, so you guys only see Phil Raya. I'm sorry if I didn't say it. Phil Raya on Facebook. You've seen the cooking show. I know that. I don't know if you've seen the other shows we do here. But people don't even know that that's my kitchen. You thought it was Danny's kitchen, which Danny's kitchen's great. But we have the cameras here. And we have a streamlined setup to shoot different stuff. So now you see the full setup. This is what it started with, man. And yeah, that's a projector. We don't use this for too many shows. We've displayed some images on it and have had the bands play in front of it. But now it's kind of just set up for hanging out and gaming. But as you see, we have black curtain here. It's on a track. That's a big thing. Coming from a studio background, I wanted to get curtain track to make the ease of use. You could see the curtain track goes all the way around. And I only have one row of curtain tracks. I wish I had 2 rows. That's something I should have thought of, but it would, if I got a second row, it would literally come out further into the room. Now this space is only 15 by 17. On camera, it looks big. It's 15 by 17. The ceilings are kind of high, maybe, I don't know, 15 feet as well. But there's not that much space, so a few inches of adding a second curtain track would have lost a lot of real estate on the ground for us. But so if I wanted to do the green screen, I'd have to wrap it around or pull it off and work with it that way, which is perfectly fine. I've streamlined a lot of the process over the last few years of ways to make things quicker. I'd love to put on a light show here, but now is not the time. Just want to show you some stuff. That's our fog machine, which produces a nice haze, which makes the lighting really good. So I got this years ago, and I actually leased this, me and my cousin, when we built the studio. This is the old Mac Pro. This thing was said by Apple to be, let me say this on camera, this was said to be the worst design in Apple's history. They came out and said this, apparently. And I have to agree, the thing overheats. It's a beefy unit, and we paid a lot of money for it. And it's my laptop that costs a third of the price is better. So be careful what you buy. I'm not saying knocking Apple, but they try to integrate everything and make things sleek looking and smaller. And sometimes you need the bigger space, the better air vents to really breathe. And this thing overheats like a maniac. This thing makes the studio hot even if I keep it on and we're not in here. We got an overhead camera here. This is on a gimbal. We've kind of set up a gimbal here and hooked it up with clamps so we can remote the camera and make it turn live. Works okay. I don't know if you saw when I walked in here, if I lost signal when I walked in. There's kind of like a dead spot right here. And sometimes the remote doesn't work great from the control room, but in here it works. We used to have a camera guy on this step ladder right here. That step ladder used to be right there, and he used to control the camera on the dolly and slide it back and forth, and then we eventually got this motorized gimbal. So saved a lot of floor space and was much safer than having someone on a ladder. All right, this is my rack. Yes, Basil, nice rack. All right, here we go. It's my rack. It's always a work in progress what I'm adding to it. Got some crown amps down there. That's pretty much an entertainment system right there. It's a Furman power conditioner that gives clean power so we don't have dropouts, or it can protect your equipment. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. And this is the switcher. A couple weeks ago, I did a stream showing how to use the switcher control panel. This is the actual brains of the switcher. So if you want to cut a show together, a live show, and be kind of professional about it, you can have up to 10 camera sources or video sources in here and switch between each source and add graphics, and it's a whole live studio in one unit. And that interfaces with that big panel inside the control room, that big board with all the buttons. And it's via Ethernet, via network. A lot of stuff is via network. Like most technology nowadays is just via network. Can you recommend a budget-friendly setup for podcasts who do live video now? I can. Now, I'm assuming you want potentially, if you want a USB mic, I have a couple that a couple people recommend. I haven't really worked in the USB kind of microphone stage, kind of XLR. We have a digital console here. It's really a hard question to answer because it really depends on what you're trying to do. What your budget is obviously can determine what you're trying to do, but there's a lot of pieces of gear that are great, but it's great for certain setups. So if you're trying to do one specific thing or 2 or 3 different things, I can recommend a certain piece of gear. So maybe if you give me a little more insight on what you're trying to do. Hey, Win, what's up, man? I didn't see that comment. Yeah, a lot of work done. Guys, we've been shooting stuff in here. We kind of built this for a family band and kind of just evolved into having the community of creators here, mostly starting with my friends, but then eventually made friends with different people in the community in Brooklyn and beyond. We've had bands from other states. We've had bands from Canada, from Italy. And I turned my friends into sportscasters. We have guys that play baseball with my whole life. Win, shout out. And we have just different content. We're just trying to have fun, be creative, and see what happens. So, Phil, let me know if you have any. I know you have this podcast set up, but do you want to use a little digital mixer, or do you just want a mic that plugs right in USB? I definitely worry about get soundproofing. Now, not proofing. Okay, so we'll go back to this. So these walls you see, the walls all around here, there's an air gap in between in between the wall and the outside brick. I'm going to go back outside. You might drop out for a second. Hopefully I don't. So out here, this wall, this stucco, this used to be cinder block walls. And it used to be a barn door. We knocked that barn door down. We put up cinder block walls. And similar to this old school cinder block and stucco, this is the original. There also used to be a door there. We took out that door. So we took that out. We put up the cinder block. We built an air gap. We made an air gap in between the cinder block and the new frame that we built. And we double studded the frame. and we didn't double stud the frame. We double studded the ceiling, but inside this air gap on the other side of the wall, we put double sheetrock, but quiet rock. Quiet rock is sheetrock that's meant for soundproofing. It's just heavier. It helps you more. Double the layer. But the air gap is essential to trap sound waves within the walls, to trap that vibration so you're not getting sound escaping. And all little holes and sealing every gap, that all counts. Any entry or exit way for sound waves, it'll find its way out. Yeah. But on top of that, people see sound foam like this. People see this and think, oh, that's soundproofing. No, it's sound deadening. It's sound enhancing in a sense. It limits your high frequencies, like that echoey sounds. It keeps it contained. And not if I did it all around the whole room, every inch, the room would sound pretty dead. But we don't want complete dead when you're doing live music. We're not necessarily doing studio music. We're doing live music and live TV. You want a dead sound, but I wanted it to not completely fill the room and can be completely dead without any natural acoustics. So as you see, if you could see on the ceiling, we kind of spread it out, the panels. And I kind of just did it once and thought it sounded pretty good, so I didn't tweak it at all. Another thing, if you're doing a home studio, you definitely, Phil, you want to get maybe a couple pieces of these foams to just deaden the room. Hopefully there's not a lot of sound seeping in from the streets or from other rooms in your house if people are living with you. But a few pieces of the foam will help deaden the sound and give more of a natural vocal mic sounding feel to it. And yeah, man, let me know if you have any specific questions. A budget-friendly setup for podcasts. That can mean so many things. I definitely recommend getting the arms that attach the desk arms, and then get like a mic. Like if you can get the SM7B, it's a great mic. It might not be budget friendly. It's like $300-400, but it's a classic mic. You can't go wrong with it. You use it for years. They're workhorses. And over time, if you go digital USB route, if you want to have it for a long time, it has to go through firmware updates. And at some point, they might not update it. So theoretically, it'll still work, but theoretically, it might not work at some point down the line. So if you go kind of traditional analog condenser mics, they're never going to be outdated. It depends on what mixer you're using. If you're just trying to go straight into your computer with a USB, and that's your only option to be budget friendly, then go for the USB mic. But if you want to think long term, you might want to get like a condenser mic that you can use for other applications as well. So that'd be my recommendation. But let me know, guys. You can send me messages on YouTube, Facebook, Bridgeside Network, Paul Liatzis. Add me on Facebook. I'm a pretty open person. Or email at info@gobridgeside.com. All right, what else? Elaborate on what, Mohammed? What's up, by the way? Elaborate on what? So I guess I'll talk about the cameras while I wait for Mohammed's question, follow-up question. These are Panasonic GH4 cameras. They're DSLR cameras. They're small. They're classic cameras. The GH5 is out now in different models. The whole podcast setup, how much would that cost? You can make a podcast setup for $300. You can make a podcast setup for $100. It doesn't mean it's going to be good. This is kind of something I tell clients too. They're like, well, how much would doing a shoot cost for a music video or for any type of video? Well, it depends on how high the production value you want. If you just want to get it going and you don't want it to just be basics, you can do, basics like your phone and just streaming. You could use OBS to stream if you want to do live video. You can use your camera phone. You could do it for practically nothing. You could do anything for practically nothing, but it doesn't mean it's the best. So depending on what level you want, like kind of if you say my budget's $500, I can recommend a couple things. But if you're, you know what I mean? So it's a deeper conversation. There's not a right or wrong answer. I kind of figured out my setup, what will work in here over time. And at time I didn't have the budget for these cameras or for that lighting board, which I never even actually paid for. But certain things I kind of got what I needed to get going, and then over time just added to it. So if you think of something that your starting point, where you want to start and eventually can kind of grow to, I think that's a good way to go about it. Like, get your basics and then say, okay, I don't need this yet. I can do this later. If you're worried about money, or if you're going to do this, if you're going to do this podcast in 3 months, I'd say just get it off the ground with the bare minimum first. And I know you've been doing your podcast. Oh, there you go. I didn't see your comment. So I run an XLR mic to 12 channel mixer. I use Shure mics or budget condenser mic. We started doing video through Zoom. So the truth is, if you're just trying to get cameras from your phone or from your webcam, if you have good lighting, cameras work. And this is hard for me to say this because I'm like the production gear guy. If you don't need great cameras to get good picture nowadays, you can get good picture on your phone. You can get good picture on your webcam. If you have good lighting and consistent lighting, like not sitting in front of, like not having out natural light coming through and affecting, like going like this and affecting, and it's changing my color as I adjust. It's constantly adjusting. You want an isolated area to shoot, and so you have consistent color. Now I'm walking in and out of light as I say that, but the idea is if I'm standing still and my lighting's consistent, and I have this is why we have this here, to block out incoming light if we want air to come in. You know, I can have consistent light and I know what's coming, and see, if you go like this in front of your phone, it kind of adjusts. That's not super professional, but if you're just podcasting, it's mainly about audio, you're fine with that. I'd say even try to get a GoPro if that's what you want to do. Get an old GoPro. You can do USB. If it's a budget setup, you're never going to get SDI. You know, those twist lock cable I mentioned before if you're on the stream. But go the HDMI route with like a mini GoPro. Set that up, or just use your iPhone and invest in. You can get like cheap lights, like these lights up here. Where is it? These box lights up here. These are from eBay, and these are super cheap. I don't know, $30 each or something. Maybe not even. You can get like a couple like soft boxes, and it's good to have soft light, so it gives you an even spread that's not harsh on your skin. And these are daylight bulbs, so it's more bluish. So you might have to change, if you're using like a DSLR, you might have to change your settings of your camera to be a little warmer. Yeah, so Phil, I would say, what's your biggest need you find through your setup? Is it now you're trying to add video, so it's the video is hard to do now? Let me know. A whole podcast setup. Now, Phil, do you know how much your setup costs? So maybe we can help Mo with your setup. All right, I'm going to go back to this camera real quick. So yeah, these are not, now you can get these cheaper. This GH5 is out. These are pretty good cameras. They shoot 4K. They've been workhorses for us. I've taken these on corporate jobs. I've used them for all our creative content. This is a workhorse. I recommend this if you don't want to have the money to get like newer stuff, but you want to get a little more advanced. GH4s are a great camera. The GH5 is out. It's definitely better, but this still does the job for us. Now we have a good lighting setup, so these cameras look fantastic. And like I said, lighting, dropped out of the app. Lighting is key. Lighting is key to anything. It can make most cameras look great. But the difference with this is that we have it hooked up to this extender base that is now discontinued. And this converts to HDMI here, to SDI. So we have it kind of a pro, like a consumer camera kind of mixed with the prosumer extension to make it a little more professional and give it more professional connections. And then we also have tally lights. If you don't know what this is, a tally light lets you know if you're live. Right now, this camera thinks it's live. That's why the light's on. But all the cameras are live, so theoretically, they should all be on. All right, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm probably gonna wrap this up in just a little bit. But if you're new to the stream, I'm gonna go back into the control room and play out a video of what we turned this space into. This studio has been many different things. So I'm gonna show you a little bit. Sorry if I didn't answer your questions directly, guys. Your initial setup was $300. Okay, here we go. We got some responses. Streaming while we are all in different places. Audio not picked up through Facebook Live, for example. We tried Zoom and OBS. More success with Zoom, but I want to stream with graphics and maybe even post the topic we are discussing. I do an old school wrestling podcast. That's awesome. So I would always say you have more control in Zoom. I mean, I'm in OBS or software like that. I use Wirecast. And I use OBS for certain things. You have more control to put graphics up in OBS. So if you can screen capture your Zoom calls and go into OBS, that's how I would do it. And stream while we're all in different places. Audio not picked up through Facebook Live, for example. Yeah. 8 years in July. I really want to get into video now as well. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm just catching up on these comments. All right, I'm going to go back into control. The video might drop out because I'm outside. I don't know. Coming back in the green room. Boom. Another GH4. These are two monitors that are routed, like we said before. All right. So back in the control room. I'm going to play a video out and show you guys what kind of stuff has actually happened in here. Hard time finding stuff. I'm going to show my sister's band. Why not? Why not? This is a band called Jamie Hooker. This is from season 2, episode 1. Boom.
Go Bridgeside.
Once upon a day, almost like a dream, where the whole world's gray and nothing's what it seems. Mama took a seat and she said, baby, take a good look around at all you see. What you gonna do when it's up to you? Nothing left to lose. What you gonna choose? What you gonna say at the end of the day? You the line, you got to get up and go. Nothing like your head in the wind. Boy, you're the wine. You got to take a chance. Listen, little girl, you know, life can be hard. And it can be a long when life will choose your side. You're gonna be when life's at its worst. If it all falls apart, baby, live a life. You'll be glad that you lived. Take a breath.
So this is an example of studio with a state. You got a state currently don't have a stage up there. It's literally sitting outside. Hanging on the colors. It's actually, yes. Sorry if we get too specific with your needs. And I don't know if you guys can hear me, but sorry if we didn't get too specific with your needs. If you want to message me, I can give you some, let me know your budget. And I can give you some recommendations based on what you're trying to get, because there's a lot of different things you can do. There's so many different kinds of gear, and you could drive yourself crazy like I have trying to pick. And the truth is, a lot of them are great, but it depends on what you're trying to do. Some features limit you, that if you're trying to do a specific show, a specific way, one thing might work for someone so much better and be $200. But if you spend $250 or even go cheaper for another route, you might find something that works for you way better because you only need it for certain things. Yo, what's up, In Stuff 7? I'm Paul, aka Mr. Bridgeside here. I do these streams on Mondays at 7 o'clock. Kind of tech streams and creative streams to kind of help you guys any way I can. I'm a production guy. I have a production company, but we do creative content, and we've been doing it with friends and local creatives, and been streaming out different kinds of shows the last few years. This is a tour of my house. Turn the house into a crazy facility. Welcome, man. Thanks. And welcome. So yeah, guys, I don't know if you have any questions else. It's hard to get specific with how much a setup would cost. I'd say you can spend $500 and get a nice setup, or you can still get something with $200. We can get more specific and find budget-friendly stuff. I'm actually going to be working on a video with my cousin Ryan, aka Schwiz, next Monday. We're going to do a stream Monday, and we're going to also record after the stream, and we're going to record different audio interfaces for different budgets. So we'll recommend low tier, mid-low tier, mid-tier, mid-high tier, high tier, something like that. But my interface is right here. This has USB on it. So this is a 32 channel compact board, but it's USB on the back of it, and it can go to this computer, and we'll record in Pro Tools. So theoretically, that's all we need to just go for a stream for audio. Whoop. Boom, and I'm back over here. All right, guys. Let me know if you guys got anything else. Yeah, come back. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I can go specific on stuff other weeks. I'll come prepared if you have specific questions. Give me questions throughout the week. Monday, next week, we're doing something with Ryan. Next week is planned. And I'd like to do something on Illustrator at some point with the person who taught me Illustrator. We'll see. He's a little bashful, he says. I don't know if he wants to be on camera. But, yeah, guys, let me know what you want me to talk about next week, or not next week, just in the future. We can make a list. We can run through stuff, get more specific. This was a tour of my house. Really, I've showed you everything. This is my life. My life is a production. Kind of, our family's always been like production and theater and going extravagant with parties and stuff. We like entertaining. So, guys, it was a pleasure welcoming you to my house. I guess the only thing to show you is my bedroom. This house is 110 years old, and there's a million doors. There's doors everywhere. Door there. There's a closet. This is my bedroom. I got some guitars hanging up. I just put some of my toys from when I was a kid. I found them upstairs and put them up. There's doors everywhere. That leads to the green room. There's doors everywhere. The kitchen. Again, the production. You don't need to see the bathroom. You know what a bathroom looks like, guys. Thank you for coming to the stream. Hope it was a little helpful, inspirational. Kind of just wanted to show you what I got going on and the facility that I've been posting all these videos from. Let me know what you want me to do next week, or I keep saying that. Let me know what you want me to do in the future. We'll get it on the list. We'll do some stuff, get specific. I want to help you on Mondays. These Monday streams are just about helping you guys with production on the channel. We're all about supporting creators, building community, helping you with production so you can start rolling just like we do here at Bridgeside. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the Bridgeside.